welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. This is a reading for all my Libra signs in the Sun, Moon, and Rising position for April the 15th through to the 30th. General messages for Libra signs, Sun, Moon, and Rising, mid-April to the end of the month. Let's see what the messages are for Libra. Okay, my Libras, your reading for mid-April to the end of the month. Very interesting so far. It looks like you're in a situation where you're having a hard time swallowing your pride about something. Something has happened that, you're wondering. It's sort of like a very mental inner struggle you're having right now where you're deciding between really putting up a fight or just swallowing your pride and moving on. Represented here by the Five of Swords. Now, the thing that's causing this inner conflict in you is that you're not really tapping into this warm embodiment here. You're not really tapping into the warmth of the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is really represented by having a very warm, very imaginative, magnetic spirit, okay? Now, you're feeling challenged to tap into that for some reason, Libra. You're not feeling particularly warm or imaginative right now. You're really in your head about this situation. And what's going on in your head while you're thinking about this situation is that, it's almost like you're feeling a little tantrumy, right? Like you're really upset about whatever this situation is that you have to swallow your pride about. You really don't want to. I'll just move these over. You kind of want to not be warm and imaginative right now. You sort of just want to be, you're feeling feisty almost, but in the sense of almost volatile. Like you're almost feeling like you want to sort of start a fight here. Like it seems like whatever happened in this situation, Libra, not only are you having a hard time swallowing your pride because you're not particularly feeling very warm and imaginative, but it's almost like you feel like you've been dishonored. Right? Like you almost have this feeling like you've been dishonored, and it's going to be really hard to swallow your pride about this. This is very interesting energy to sit in because you really, it almost seems like you were expecting something different. Okay, from this present situation you're in, it's almost like you were expecting some kind of reward for your efforts because you did put in efforts in the recent past. You put in a lot of efforts and you were sort of in the mindset that you were going to be celebrating and receiving rewards for your efforts. But instead, there's almost this element of like, you feel you can't let this go. Something happened that caused you to really look at a situation differently on a mental level, and you're feeling really challenged because it's certainly not what you were expecting was going to happen. Now, we see the Knight of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Now, when you see the Knight of Swords in reverse as being your overall mood, that really suggests that you could be sort of out of steam. It could also suggest that you're feeling really riled up because something that happened feels like it was unfair. You feel like you've been betrayed in some way, and so right now you're having a hard time overcoming your impulses to sort of act in a way that wouldn't be consistent with having sort of a calm demeanor that is, open to different perspectives. Because right now you're really feeling, again, like you've been dishonored. So a part of you is really trying to understand this. You're going through a struggle here for personal growth and self-development, and it's being strained, and you feel like it's really difficult right now because you're frustrated. You're almost feeling like there is no opportunity for you to really like step into yourself in this present situation. There's almost a sense of feeling directionless. You almost feel like that this situation that was brought in here in the Five of Swords could have been caused by, in your mind anyway, by someone who is behaving like had ill will towards you, right? Like that whole dishonored vibe. It's almost like there was maybe infidelity or deceit or something in your mind really over dramatized the situation, real or not. Now, the interesting part of it for you, Libra, is that you're denying yourself the opportunity to be in solitude, to understand this situation. And you're in a situation, you also have the Hangman in reverse here, you have the Hermit in reverse and the Hanged Man in reverse. So that says not only are you not taking time in solitude to try and understand the wisdom behind whatever it was here that happened, you're not trusting that maybe that event happened to sort of push you onto a different timeline. Rejection is redirection. So even if it felt like a betrayal here, you're watering the seeds of volatility here. That's not serving you. And Spirit really wants you to trust and to reflect on your own to try and understand the truth behind this. Now, the fives in all the suits of tarot really are the moment where you understand truth. The truth that in the six evolves you, okay? Now, we have here the Hanged Man and the Hermit both in reverse, which suggests that you're feeling challenged to sort of personify the archetypes in these two cards. One which sees the value in solitude in order to process events. I like to call it sort of having a paper day where, you sit in the lab and you examine the data, right? You go through stuff and you look at it without judgment to really try and understand this process of self-development and self-understanding and self-mastery that we're all on. And then, the Hanged Man card really wants you to trust. It wants you to trust that, even if something doesn't make sense and even if something has shifted and you're heading into the unknown, that it is all for your, higher self evolution, and that any sort of resistance to these two archetypes really will leave you feeling stuck. Really stuck. And it's interesting because other people see you as having so much potential to really do something soulful. Other people really, the projection of yourself in the outer world is someone who has a lot of ability to direct their soulful passion into the physical world, to really create something, to really be guided by their soul. So it's interesting that you know that, but something happened in the recent present here, or in the recent past, that made you feel like really disillusioned because you were expecting to be celebrating the rewards that you achieved in the recent past, and then instead in the present you got hit by some heavy mental truth that made you feel like really disappointed to be waiting for this sort of reward, and actually now you feel really hostile and like you're not trusting the process anymore, and you're having a really hard time shifting that energy because of this sense of dishonor, right? You feel dishonored by something. Maybe someone really broke your trust. Now, I'm seeing that your identity and the sense of identity that you have is very important to you, but that has been shattered as well. So although you are showing the world that you're ready to create something amazingly soulful that will project you into the future, you're really standing on a sense of shaky ground, And that's scary for you, Libra, because, you know, you're all about your sense of identity. You know, it's tricky for you when the energy around you says, I don't know who I am. After this, after whatever this truth was, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know where I stand. I don't know where I stand, you know, and your final outcome card is beautiful. It is the Star card. And so that does say that you're going to get the emotions flowing again. So I'm hoping that that means that the Hermit and Hanged Man energy will come through for you, and you will take the time you need to process and really pull out the wisdom here and trust in the process. And you will sort of start to see that emotion flow at the end of this outcome, which is great for you because there are things that you want to do. There is a soulful expression here that you want to express. There is some work you want to get going here, and people see that you're very capable of it. So you really are being asked to see the truth in whatever this was, my Libra friends, and to understand that it really is here to propel you into some massive creative project, which will end with you having a renewed sense of faith. You know, your sense of faith is rocked right now. You are feeling really, really hit hard by whatever this truth was. And, you know, once you process it, like the Hermit and the Hanged Man card want you to, you're going to come out of it with the Star card as your outcome, which really suggests a rebirth in your sense of faith, and that you know you can overcome difficulties in any shape or form. You can keep the emotion flowing while you do that. There is promise in the future. You have passed through the collapse of everything that you really believed was true. Wow, Libra, you're going through quite a bit right now. Mid-April to the end of the month, but by the end of the month you're really going to have a renewed sense of faith, hope, and faith in yourself, that once you walk this path you're really going to have some faith in yourself. But you know, your outer manifestation in the world is still one that projects a lot of soulful creative energy. So keep going. Take the time you need for yourself and really trust that this wasn't in vain. You know, this will serve a purpose for you. Now, I'm going to pull one more card here for you for your words of encouragement, Libra. Oh, wow. Right away, the card Peace fell out. Now, this card really talks about that inner peace. That inner peace that you have to find within the self first, that you will find within yourself, Libra. I know it's hard, especially being a Libra. You're always looking for, you know, the solution. But right now, it's time to just be at peace with whatever this was and see it for what it was, a lesson for you to learn about yourself in a certain situation, and to evolve into the next, you know, version of yourself. You are evolving into the Star, and as a result you need to take some time to be at peace. There is a certain sense of freedom that comes when you accept things. You know, once you trust and accept the process and take the time to really just understand things in a different way, there is a level of freedom that comes from that acceptance, you know, and a certain sense of like a clear vision of what's next, and a clear vision of your inner power to be peaceful and harmonious regardless of what is going on around you. And that's really going to catapult you. You know, Star card for the final outcome, and this Eight of Wands that you're already projecting outward to the world. That is how people see you. They see you as, you know, being able to manifest things on a soulful level that are really, really part of your passion, which is going to be part of this new identity of yours that you're unsure of right now, but it's coming. And so it's time to really have this radical version of acceptance, okay? And I know it's challenged right now, but we need to bring that aspect of peace into focus here for you on that timeline. Okay, my Libras, if this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading to clarify any of these messages, my email is in the description below, and I would love to hear from you. Okay, take care and have a wonderful evening, Libra. We'll see you again for some more readings.